Yes, sir. What's up, guys? How you guys doing today? Beautiful, let's go. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the live streams. Good week so far. Hope you guys are doing well. Shout out to everyone who sticked with us on the stream yesterday. It paid off. Probably one of the longest trades in the history on the live streams. We were stuck in a trade for 3 hours, but we ended it in the right direction. All right. It's time for some serious stuff though. Today we have, right now we have actually the interest rate decision in regards to the euro. This might affect the dollar. This might affect gold. So far, not really a big reaction. We're going to talk about that at this particular moment here. Euro is starting to lose a little bit of strength at the moment here. This is going to have an impact on the dollar and maybe therefore also on gold. But at the same time, we have news coming in 11 minutes. The PPI, baby. Good on you guys. Let's see what we have with us. Let's put on our standard tunes to kick it off. You know, slow and steady. That's how we're believing. Nice, slow, and steady. All right, beautiful. Let's see what we have with us on a beautiful Thursday already. Man, time flies, right? When you're having fun. Crypto Maverick, good to see you, my friend. Rowanit, Lawrence, Bonanza. Juan, Matthias. Yes, sir. Maria, good to see you, Ronit. Good to see you, Safuyem. Jackson Robinson says PPI may come in above expected. I'm estimating 0.2% due to increased price in commodities, driving up production costs, employee contraction, wage pressures, and supply chain disruption. Interesting. Reza, FOREX, Sarbut. What else do we have here? Grim Reaper, good to see you again. Welcome back. King Hafiz, Abu Kabar, Bike, Camu. Mantap. Hello, Lorenzo. Yara, good to see you, Yara. Aaron. All right, the fam is back. Fantastico. Okay. Let's get to work. Let's get to work, man. It's time for some price action. Hopefully, again, gold. Particularly coming up in around 10 minutes, we're going to see the PPI coming out here. What do we have today? Well, we have a couple of key levels to work with. All right, number one, we have to pay very close attention to the all-time highs. The all-time highs, man, 25.31. Once again, we're creeping up and we're holding up strong. All right, so let's see what the news does today. We're not going to trade until after the news because I have to get more information about what's currently going to happen with the news included. I need to see how gold's moving here. We're pushing up before the news. The dollar is starting to push down a little bit. The euro is kind of hovering around, not really moving much here after the interest rate decision here. Not as big as expected, but you can see clearly that when the euro moves up, the dollar moves down. And if that happens, gold will probably also move up. So you see that confirmation of gold pushing up when the euro pushes up as well here. So also today is one of these days where we have to pay attention to the euro and not just the dollar. Usually we only pay attention to the dollar, but because of the interest rate decision today that we have seen now, 3.65%, right? 50 basis points lower than expected here, right? You can now expect a potential reaction from the euro. And if that's the case here, we're going to find out what the euro will do after the news. And based upon the euro, based upon the dollar, and then based upon the way gold is moving towards our key levels, we can find our trade setups right here, right there, okay? Question of today, will we break the highs or are we going to reverse down back into the range here? All right, let me know in the chat what you guys think. Do you guys think we're going to break the highs based upon your analysis, or are we going to potentially come back into the range as always, sticking into this range here that we have been building since August, around 30 days already, almost in this range right now, not breaking the 25.31 and not breaking the 24.72. We're in that hourly, or like I could say now 4 hourly range to be exact here. So that's going to be very interesting. So the other thing is we might even sweep the highs and then reverse down. All right, but anyways, we will keep a very close eye on the dollar, on the euro. How do we move? What can happen here? And most importantly right now, I have to say gold is looking quite strong after yesterday when we found that low during the CPI here, right? We came down, we were looking for longs. We lost our first trade. We lost a small trade at the beginning, and then we made it all back plus more when we took our second trade up towards the 24.17, 24.16, a little bit there, and that's when we started to come down, and now we're pushing back up again. So you can see clearly that during the Asian session and London session today, we have been actually pushing up, right? Clearly London low swept and then a push to the upside right now at this particular moment. Question is, are we going to take out the previous London highs here? So the previous daily highs potentially right there, okay? This is also a critical level. So what I'm interested in is I want to see one of these levels getting swept. I want to see at least the previous daily high, the all-time high, or anything in that manner. At least if we push up, I want to see that getting swept before we could start thinking about a potential reversal play. Same as what we were looking for yesterday. Yesterday we were looking at a move where we came back down towards a critical key level, the previous daily POC. At the time here we held support and we started to push back up again. Now I want to see us breaking highs, manipulating highs, and then maybe even reverse. Who knows? We're going to find out here. So I marked out the 25.29. I mark out the 25.31 because that's the all-time high. That's also a very critical key level to work with. So two critical key levels right here to work with. And then of course we do have, if we do reverse here, we also have another layer, which is this previous day, right, the previous daily range, which is sitting at 25.24. So we have definitely some areas of resistance here, or key levels that we cannot neglect, all right? 25.24, 25.29, 25.31. These are my three levels, all right? If we do manipulate the previous daily high and we start to slow down, I'm all in for shorts. I'm all in for shorts, especially because we also have to think, what is the true catalyst for gold to break out of a big range here? Is the PPI gonna do it? Or if the CPI is not even able to break out of this range, neither the NFP, then is it going to be the interest rate decision for the dollar that's going to finally get us out of that 4 hour range that we have been building now for the past month? Big range, in the range, we always have to be careful here. Like I said before, I don't like to buy when we're in resistance. And yes, we do have a lot of liquidity built up above here, but I don't like to buy in resistance and I don't like to sell in support, especially not when we are in a local range. So either we break out of the range strong, then I'm all in for long setups. But until then, a quick sweep followed by internal weakness is not gonna do it for me. All right, it's not gonna do it for me. Then I'm rather looking for shorts again and then take price back down once again, potentially pushing price back into the range again until the bigger catalyst comes into play. So yes, anyways, news in 4 minutes. Let's keep a close eye on our key levels and let's see if we can sweep one of these highs first. And if we then show any weakness, then we know what to look out for. And that is still for shorts until we're proven otherwise. All right, I'm not going to look for longs yet in resistance. So I'm going to only look for shorts as long as we can until we truly break out strong and we really leave the range. then I can say with more confirmation, now we're going to potentially break out and then we're going to make a look for the next move here. All right, trying to long here to go for the sweep highs is not going to do it for me yet. Okay, but if you do come up, then that's all good. That's all fantastic, because then we can at least sweep out potentially some of our key levels here. So yeah, pay very close attention to number one, the 25.24, 25.29, 25.31. In my opinion, the 25.29 is the sweet spot, right? The previous daily high is, in my opinion, the sweet spot to be swept here. If we can take that out and we start showing weakness, I'm all in for sells. I'm all in for sells. So for now, I'm only looking for sells and not for buys yet, until we really break out and look for more strength. Only look for sells now. Only interested in sells. Why? We do have the understanding of the interest rate decision for the euro here. If the dollar now is coming down and the news starts reversing the dollar, or whatever the case may be, you know, we'll figure it out too. But, you know, we want to see gold pushing up a little bit, but that's not for me trade worthy, right? I see what will happen after that. So yeah, let's keep a close eye on the news. 3 minutes left. Quickly, the initial jobless claims and the PPI in combination. And I have to also, you know, make sure that you guys are aware of that as well. The ECB interest rate the press conference is coming as well. I will not, you know, I will probably not listen to it, because if we listen to this press conference, then you guys are all gonna fall asleep, and then we're gonna have a very boring live stream, because, you know, that tends to happen a lot during these press conferences, because it tends to be relatively scripted. And you guys don't like that. You guys don't really like that. We listen to Uncle Jerome Powell sometimes here, because, you know, he's my uncle. But Christine Lagarde, no, that goes a little bit over the top. Over the top for me right now. Okay? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. There we go. 2 minutes. And yeah, man. Ready to look for shorts if we can get into our setups. If you can get into our setups, I'm gonna set up my my lot sizing, and there we go. There we go. Let's see, 5 or 6. Let's do 6. Let's do 6 micros or one. No, 6 between 6 and 10 micros. It depends what we what will happen. What will happen today. Depends on the probability. Okay, there we go. 1 minute left. You guys excited? Chat? Chat is sleeping a little bit. How much is one lot size? Keep in mind, I'm trading futures on the side here. I have a close eye on the spot for you though. So, you know, do take that in consideration. I am aware of that. I am aware of that. But I have my spot chart open for you. I'm trading futures on the side, so you guys will know exactly what I will do on futures while you guys are looking at spot. If you trade spot or futures, whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. Okay, there we go, baby. There we go. Climax or anti-climax? It seems like an anti-climax. Negative for the initial jobless claims, positive for the PPI here, 0.2%. Somebody in our group was right. Somebody in our chat was correct about it. Who was that? I think it was Jackson. He was talking about it in our in the chat right here. He said 0.2%. Dollar pushing up a little bit. Now, does it have an impact on gold? Not really. As you can see right now, gold and the dollar are relatively neutral when looking at the correlation coefficient. So this shows you what the correlation is between the gold and between the dollar. Sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's neutral. When it's neutral, it's not as effective to look at the dollar chart here, but still I wanted to point this out anyways. Right now it seems that we're actually on the little bit on the on the slower side, to be honest. It's not really looking that that strong at the moment here. On futures, we're tapping into the previous daily POC as well here. And on gold, we are still holding above the previous daily POC. So we need to break and close below it for shorts. In my opinion, we need to close below the 25.19 for shorts. And if we start to push up further, then you know what we're looking at, right? 25, 24, 25, 29. That's it. Overall, similar to yesterday. Yesterday was okay. In the end, gold started to move a little bit more, right? We started to see gold moving a bit further. But it was not that incredible, right? As we have seen before during CPI events. But yeah, anyways. Expect a lot of volatility. Why? Because of the press conference that's coming in around 12 minutes. The Euro press conference will have an impact on the dollar and therefore might have an impact on gold. Even if it's not negatively correlated, you know, you could still, we could all align here that if the dollar starts moving big time, gold will follow up either in the same direction or either in the opposite direction. But it's about volatility, right? Volatility is what matters right now at the moment too. So yeah, like I said, I'm still only interested in sells. Either we push up, we get rejected there, or we break and we swipe the previous daily highs, we get rejected there. We still not take out the all-time high. Or we break below the 25.19. Then I'm also interested in looking for sells as well. Why not buys? I said it before. Just simply one more time here. If we are in a range and we are in the 4-hour range, this is the 4-hour range, and we're trading in the upper echelon of the range. We're trading right here, right now. Then I'm personally not interested in buys until we clearly break out and show support here. Then I'm all in for continuation buys or continuation plays here. But I don't like to buy in resistance, and I also don't like to really sell when we are in that daily support either. Okay, so for now, sells are still what I'm looking for. And you could say, yeah, but Lorenzo, look at all that liquidity getting built up above the highs here. And yes, you have a very valid point. There is indeed a lot of highs that are yet to be taken out there. But you know, we said it about the CPI, we said it about the NFP. So what makes the gold now suddenly break out, you know, to the upside here? What is the true catalyst for gold to do it and to break out of the range? I don't see the true catalyst unless Christine Lagarde from the ECB, the press conference, starts, you know, talking a lot of trash. Then, you know, we might respond to that. But for now, either a strong confirmation or whatever the case may be, then this is it. Geopolitics is a huge catalyst too. Yes. Politics are definitely one layer, but at the same time, you also have the commercials, the users and producers that are also very important, right? The underlying factors that move the supply and demand of gold as well here. Many factors, man, many layers. Many layers. Gold is not just politically driven only, but do agree if now, you know, whatever, a massive attack happens, then yeah, you might see out of fear the gold prices go up. But do take into consideration that all the terroristic attacks happened in the weekend when the markets are closed. Okay? I'm serious about that, by the way. You should check it out. So, dollar is indeed starting to slow down here. Gold is pushing into resistance, the 25.24. Gonna go to lower time frames. Lorenzo, gold tend to break a range hardly, so you don't consider taking impulse entries above the all-time high? Yeah, sometimes, yes. Yeah. But not when we are very close to it, though. Not when we're very close to it. I show you something else, some interesting information as well here. Let me show you the book map. Bookmap. If we're heading to the previous daily high and we are starting to show weakness, I am all in for shorting it. I'm all in for shorting from this level. I am all in for shorting it around, and I need to see where it exactly is on futures here. Give me 1 second. It's 25.28, 25.58 on futures. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right. So the Bookmap. All right, let's look at gold real quick on futures here. You see the 25.55 here. A lot of orders are placed sitting above here. It kind of works as a magnet. It pulls it into higher levels right now, which is the 25.55, 25.56, 7, 8, and 9. You can see now that these orders are placed there. We're kind of pulling towards it as a magnet. When there is nothing else, to pull towards today, usually this is what they're doing. They're putting price towards it. The question is what happens once these levels are taken, once this has been taken. What happens after that? And this is when we're heading into the previous daily highs. And that's going to be interesting for us. Very interesting for us right there. Okay. Lorenzo, when do the most all-time highs happen? Well, funny enough, have you ever actually noticed that most of the all-time highs happen around a Friday closure, heading it towards the weekly candle closure? That's also an interesting one. Oh, yeah. But keep in mind, and I really want to make sure you are aware of it one more time here. In 10 minutes, we do have, or 6 minutes, we do have the press conference, the ECB press conference. I assume you guys don't want to listen to it, right? I assume you guys don't want to listen on it. Yeah. Philip says Friday is statistically the strongest day for gold. Maybe that's why. Yes, Larry Williams said, yeah, Larry Williams indeed said the same thing, correct. One of the OGs, indeed. One of the OGs. Lorenzo, there was a good trade yesterday. This proves once again that holding on to your trade sometimes pays out. I agree. Yes, was indeed the case here. Sometimes we had to stay with our trade here. We were in our trade. We were stuck in a trade for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Yeah, 2.5 hours, something like that. Now, we're heading to the previous daily highs. That's where the magic happens. Previous daily highs. This Euro conference will affect gold. I think it will, yeah. I do believe it will. Look at what gold's doing. The euro is dollar is tanking before the actual outcome here. PPI came out better than expected. Dollar is tanking. Initial jobless claims came out slightly higher. You would say kind of balances itself out too. But dollar is pushing down a little bit now before the press conference starts. So yeah, we'll see. It's obviously is now having a good solid impact on the dollar, or on gold, not on the dollar, of course. Okay, previous daily high is taken. This has all to do with the press conference, ladies and gentlemen. The press conference that will start soon. I do believe that this could have a major impact on gold now. Okay. I'm at 1 minute. Dollar is still some room, huh? Dollar is still some room. We're almost there, though. We're there. We are at support. Dollar's at support. Wait until the press conference starts. We're almost there. Let me quickly look on YouTube here. Oh. One minute left. I think we're going to start very soon. I want to start entering at least one position now. So I'm in short now. We're pushing up hard before the ECB press conference here. Stop loss where? I manually manage it for now. We close this 5-minute candle in 20 seconds. Two, one. Close mid. Okay. Yeah, so the previous daily high has been taken out here, which is critical for me personally to say, okay, we have taken out the previous daily high now. We have the press conference that's starting here. This is a really aggressive move before the press conference actually starts, which is very interesting to see here. The dollar is now at some level of support. We're finding support at the dollar. You can see this happening at the moment as well here. And yeah, same counts for the euro here. We will see if the euro starts becoming weaker right now, right? Due to that rate cut, and the dollar holds support and it starts to hold up. I'm willing to see where we can take it. We're pushing up still. Really aggressively, wow. Okay, all-time highs are taken. We're still in, never over risk. We're keeping our risk tight. We're only scaling in if that's a necessity here. So today is the day. We're starting now. Pretty nasty, but the highs are taken out right now. I'm gonna pay very close attention to where we close here. That will be the decision maker for myself to say, okay, do I close my trade or do I keep it open? We have taken out the highs now, officially. We entered the shorter round here. We have now taken out the highs here. So I'm very curious to see how do we close here. And that will be the decision maker for me to see, do I hold my position? Do I close it? Do we come back to our entry? What is the first reaction here? We're all gonna find out in a second here. Keep your head cool and then it should be fine, man. Don't risk too much, you should be good. First closure will be, of course, the hourly. So we can pay very close attention to the hourly candle here. What about your drawdown? Not much. $295, $300 on a 150K account. So don't worry. All right, she started talking. Let's see what she has to say now a little bit though.
Out of the annual rates. Inflation should then decline towards our target over the second half of next year. For core inflation,
let's listen to it real quickly now in this case.
24 and 25 have been revised up slightly as services inflation has been higher than expected. At the same time, staff continue to expect a rapid decline in core inflation from 2.9% this year to 2.3% in 25 and 2% in 26. Domestic inflation remains high as wages are still rising at an elevated pace. However, labor cost pressures are moderating. Euro it's partially buffering the impact of higher wages on inflation.
Euro is in resistance, so this is critical. We really want to come down.
Remain restrictive, and economic activity is still subdued, reflecting weak private consumption and investment. Staff project that the economy will grow by 0.8%.
She's French, yeah, she's French.
Rising to 1.3% in 25 and 1.5% in 26. This is a slight downward revision compared with the June projections, mainly owing to weaker contribution from domestic demand over the next few quarters. We are determined to ensure that inflation returns to our 2% medium-term target in a timely manner. We will keep policy rates sufficiently restrictive for as long as necessary to achieve this aim. We will continue to follow a data-dependent and meeting-by-meeting approach to determining the appropriate level and duration of restriction. In particular, our interest rate decisions will be based on our assessment of inflation outlook in light of the incoming economic and financial data, the dynamics of underlying inflation, and the strength of monetary policy transmission. We are not pre-committing to a particular rate path. The decisions taken today are set out in a press release available on our website. As announced on March 13, 2024, some
sounds exactly like Jerome Powell, exactly the same.
Implementing monetary policy will take effect from 18th of September. In particular, the spread between the interest rate on the main refinancing operations and the deposit facility rate will be set at 15 basis points. The spread between the rate on the marginal lending facility and the rate on the main refinancing operations will remain unchanged at 25 basis points. So I will now outline in more details how we see the economy and inflation developing, and will then explain our assessment of financial and monetary conditions. Turning to the economic activity. The economy grew by 0.2% in the second
I'm waiting for the
quarter,
audio closure.
after 0.3% in the first quarter, falling short of the latest staff projections. Growth stemmed mainly from net exports and government spending. Private domestic demand weakened as households consumed less, firms cut down business investment, and housing investment dropped. While services supported growth, industry and construction contributed negatively. According to survey indicators, the recovery is continuing to face some headwinds. We expect the recovery to strengthen over time as rising real incomes
We're slowing down.
allow households to consume more. The gradually fading effects of restrictive monetary policy should support consumption and investment. Exports should also continue contributing to the recovery as global demand rises. The labor market remains resilient. The unemployment rate was broadly unchanged in July at 6.4%. At the same time, employment growth slowed to 0.2% in the second quarter, from 0.3% in the first. Recent survey indicators point to a further moderation in demand for labor, and the job vacancy rate has fallen closer to pre-pandemic levels. Fiscal and structural policies should be aimed at making the economy more productive and competitive, which would help to raise the potential growth and reduce price pressures in the
Let's check
medium
out the
term.
euro.
Mario Draghi's report on the future of European competitiveness and Enrico Letta's report on empowering the single market stress the urgent need for reform and provide concrete proposals to make this happen. Implementing the EU's revised economic governance framework fully, transparently, and without delay will help governments bring down budget deficits and debt ratios.
So the euro is
on
still
a
in resistance here.
sustained basis.
If this is dropping and we
Governments
see
should now
rejection
make
from
a
the euro,
strong start
dollar
in the
will
direction
hold
of
that
their
support.
medium-term plans for fiscal and
I think we need to
structural
hold and be
policies.
patient.
Looking at inflation now. According to Eurostat's flash estimate, annual inflation dropped to 2.2% in August from 2.6% in July. Energy prices fell at an annual rate of 3% after an increase of 1.2% in previous month. Food price inflation went up slightly to 2.4% in August. Goods inflation and services inflation moved in opposite directions. Goods inflation declined to 0.4% from 0.7% in July, while services inflation rose to 4.2% from 4%. Most measures of underlying inflation were broadly unchanged in July. Domestic inflation edged down
Critical moment.
only slightly to 4.4% from 4.5% in June, with strong price pressures coming especially from wages. Negotiated wage growth will remain high and volatile over the remainder of the year, given the significant role of one-off payments in some countries and the staggered nature of wage adjustments. At the same time, the overall growth in labor costs is moderating. The growth in compensation per employee fell further to 4.3% in the second quarter, the fourth consecutive decline. And ECB staff projected to slow markedly again next year.
Dollar holding support, that's good.
Despite weak productivity, unit labor costs grew less strongly in the second quarter, by 4.6% after 5.2% in the first quarter. Staff expect unit labor cost growth to continue declining over the projection horizon owing to lower wage growth and a recovery in productivity. Finally, profits are continuing to partially offset the inflationary effects of higher labor costs. The disinflation process should be supported by receding labor cost pressures and the past monetary policy tightening gradually feeding through to consumer prices. Most measures of longer-term inflation expectations stand at around 2%, and the market-based measures have fallen closer to that level since our July meeting. Let's look at our risk assessment. The risks to economic growth remain tilted to the downside. Lower demand for euro
Adding to the outer closure, this is critical.
Owing, for instance, to a weaker world economy,
1 minute and 30
or
seconds.
an escalation in trade tensions between major economies, would weigh on euro area growth. Russia's unjustified war against Ukraine and the tragic conflict in the Middle East are major sources of geopolitical risk. This may result in firms and households becoming less confident about the future and global trade
There we go, we're back.
disrupted.
We're back, G's.
Growth could also be lower if the lagged effects of monetary policy tightening turn out stronger than expected. But growth could be higher if inflation comes down more quickly than expected and rising confidence and real incomes mean that spending increases by more than anticipated.
All right, out. Break even for now.
If the world economy grows,
you can say, yeah, it can come down now, but trust me, you can find better entries.
Could turn out higher than anticipated.
No stress needed.
If wages or profits increase by
no
more
need to
than
stress,
expected.
It's all gonna be fine. Just chill.
Upside risks to inflation
Stay sharp.
also stem from the
Don't get emotional.
geopolitical tensions.
It's gonna be fine. You get your opportunities.
Could push energy prices and freight costs higher in the near term and disrupt global trade. Moreover, extreme weather events and the unfolding climate crisis more broadly could drive up food prices. By contrast, inflation may surprise on the downside if monetary policy dampens demand more than expected, or if the economic environment in the rest of the world worsens unexpectedly.
Could still push back.
Financial and monetary conditions. Market interest rates have declined markedly.
Be very careful with buying. This is why you have to be very careful with buying in all-time highs.
Outlook for global
very
growth
careful.
And reduced concerns about inflation pressures. Tensions in global markets over the summer led to a temporary tightening of financial conditions in the riskier market segments. Overall, financing costs remain restrictive as our past policy rate increases continue to work their way through the transmission chain. The average interest rates on new loans to firms and on new mortgages stayed high in July at 5.1% and 3.8% respectively. Credit growth remains sluggish amid weak
That was
demand.
good. That was an exciting moment.
Bank lending to firms grew at
But you can see how you cannot stress. You need to be patient.
0.6% in July, down slightly from June, and growth in loans to households edged up to 0.5%. Broad money,
holding up very
as
well.
measured by M3, grew by 2.3% in July, the same rate as in June. To conclude, the Governing Council today decided to lower the deposit facility rate by 25 basis points. We are determined to ensure that inflation returns to our 2% medium-term target in a timely manner. We will keep policy rates sufficiently restrictive for as long as necessary to achieve the same.
Okay, dollar is
We will
holding
continue to
up
follow a data-dependent
at support here.
and meeting-by-meeting
Not looking
approach
strong, not looking
to
weak, pretty
determining
neutral.
the appropriate level and duration of restrictions. In particular, our interest rate
Euro and
decisions
resistance.
will be based on our assessment of the inflation outlook in light of the incoming economic and financial data, the dynamics of underlying inflation, and the strength of monetary policy transmission. We are not pre-committing to a particular rate path. In any case, we stand ready to adjust all of our instruments within our mandate to ensure that inflation returns to our medium-term target and to preserve the smooth functioning of monetary policy transmission.
Look at that flip.
And we are now ready to take your questions.
Fill up that gap. Okay, now it starts. The questions are coming. To be honest, guys, we were supposed not to listen to it. But we took a short. Price shoot up. Came back to our entry. We went out. You have to be calm, all right? Why are we not stressing out? Well, a couple of rules here. We don't over-risk. That's one layer. We do not over-risk, right? We can handle drawdown. We can handle a little bit of drawdown sometimes. There's nothing wrong with handling a little bit of drawdown in these cases here, all right? You know it's a very manipulative move here. Around the all-time highs, most manipulations happen all the time. Why? Because that's the moment when buyers step in the most and think this is going to go to the moon. Right? Then it pulls back. It doesn't. And yeah, just sit it out. Sit in your hands and be calm. And wait now for the US Open. And we try again.
And that was a unanimous decision. We proceeded as we normally do and have very clearly indicated by obviously looking at data and looking in particular at data through the prism of our three key criteria. So when you look at the incoming information, it confirms our previous projections and it comforts us in our confidence that we are heading towards our target in a timely manner. So during the course of 25 in particular, inflation will decline towards our 2% target.
If you're trading with no stop loss and OTP, that's gambling in my opinion. I don't agree because I know exactly what my risk is and I just under risk. A lot of guys over risk and that's why they have to put such a tight stop loss and it only decreases their overall win rate. So sometimes we have, of course, a very clear stop loss, actually most of the time. But sometimes we know in heavy manipulated situations, we just risk a little bit less than we usually risk and we can handle moments like these, all right? When things go against us and when we are not heavily. That's why I'm against fixed risk, always risking the same. I always look at every single individual trade and decide what my risk parameter is going to be.
Target. And we thought that given that when we receive the projections of our staff for September, it's virtually unchanged relative to June for the inflation outlook. And it continues to see a return to 2% before the end of 25. And this is, by the way, the 5 consecutive projection exercise pointing to that 2% at the end of 25. So why do I say that? Because it certainly reinforces our confidence in the solidity and robustness of those projections. That's for the first prism, the inflation outlook. The underlying inflation, on the other hand, we look at the various indicators that we have from domestic to PCCI. And here we see one.
So real quick, what we have to take consideration now that the all-time high was taken out. We didn't close an hourly candle above it. If this next hourly candle does something specifically like that and we close above it, that shows significant strength. That might flip the script here. Until then, around the US Open, the New York Stock Exchange Open, I still think there are possibilities to see a potential turnaround happening, especially if the dollar finds some support here based upon this move now. Right? But it depends how strong gold will react towards the dollar tapping into the 101.066. So we have to wait for the US Open now.
Continue to be restrictive, and the footprint of our monetary policy in the real economy has been visible. So, on the basis of that review of incoming data, staff analysis, consistency of the projections for the 5th exercise in a row, that decision to cut by 25 basis points was perfectly legitimate and, as I said, unanimously decided.
We're still big.
I drink to the future. Well, future, I'm
Let's see
tempted
what kind
to
of
quote, you know, Spanish. Que sera,
symbols she's
sera.
wearing today.
Because we have consistently said, and we repeat again, that we shall remain data dependent. And that is particularly justified in view of the uncertainty that abounds. So we shall be data dependent. We shall decide meeting by meeting. And our path, of which the direction is pretty obvious, a declining path, is not predetermined, neither in terms of sequence nor in terms of volume. And I would like to add one thing which I have already said before, which is still true, which is that data dependency does not mean data point dependency. We're not going to be fixated on one single number. We are looking at a whole battery of indicators. And I'm saying that in particular because September will certainly deliver a low reading of inflation, very likely. We expect, because of the base effect, particularly on energy, our inflation numbers to be up in the fourth quarter, so the last 3 months of 24. But September is going to deliver a low reading. But we're not just looking at one indicator. We're looking at a whole range of data that we receive.
Thank you, Madame Lagarde. And the next question goes to...
Oh, okay. Dollar dropping. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. The October meeting is a short 5 weeks away. So to use your own words from March, do you think you will know a lot more or just a little more come October 17th? Second question is about something else. It's about something that the ECB has been championing for years, and that is cross-border consolidation between banks. It seems it's finally happening with UniCredit building up a stake in Commerzbank. So does the ECB welcome this development?
Trade management, Gis.
Trade
management. Right here, right down. Patience, not over-risking.
We can all count.
Exiting when necessary.
Before October 17th, which is a
Don't hope
short
for the best.
compared
Don't
to
hope for the
other
best.
levels that we've had in the past.
But the dollar will come
I
to
would
support
simply
here.
repeat what I have said.
We're still not there.
We
though.
are going to be data dependent. We are going to decide meeting by meeting. I'm not giving you any commitment of any kind as far as that particular date is concerned. And our path is not predetermined at all. On the other matter that you referred to,
Buddy Boy says, the Reliance ISO strategy is based on key levels. Does the all-time high level make it a key level like the POC? Can we base answer models of it? Yes.
we have a clear procedure which involves our supervision authority, the SSM, which at
Area of
certain
interest.
thresholds of equity ownership or transfer of shares, if you will, has to be consulted, has to authorize. And of course, I'm confident that the authorities of these institutions concerned, namely UniCredit and Commerzbank, will be perfectly aware of their regulatory requirements and will comply with such
she will be finished soon. And then we have the US Open.
Will do what it has to do in full independence. And clearly, cross-border mergers have been hoped for by many authorities, and it will be very interesting to see that process unfold in the weeks to come.
Thank you. And the next question goes
Well,
to
Pipstamp was right. Euro did go up and the dollar is showing bearish. Yeah, that's because he's an ICT trader.
The first one,
They're
said
always
again
right.
that the rates needs to be sufficiently restrictive for some time. How
They
many
read the
times
tape.
can the ECB cut interest rates before they are no longer sufficiently restrictive? So basically, where do you see the so-called neutral rate? And the second one is more on the effect of interest rate cuts. How much of a boost could such cuts deliver to the euro area economy, given that at least some, if not most, of the problems are structural? Thank you.
I'm going to thank you for your two questions. I'm going to spend a bit more time on your second question, because on the first one, how long are we going to be sufficiently restrictive? Until we have been sufficiently restrictive. Because what we want is
Keep
to
in mind
achieve
that
the goal
the all-time high of
returning
futures has
inflation
just been
to
taken
target
out right now.
in a timely manner.
All right?
As I
So
said,
it's a completely different
fifth
story from spot here, and
projection
I think that it's important to
we
take
have
in
inflation
consideration.
at target during the second half of 2025.
Whereas gold now has
And
far
that is on
exceeded the
basis
all-time high on
of
spot.
the
On
baseline
futures,
that we have in our
you can see
projection.
it literally just
And
swept
we're
the
going
highs here.
to observe how that baseline evolves over the course of time as data comes in to decide for how long we have to continue cutting rates and at what point we have been sufficiently restrictive. So I'm not going to give you any idea as to where our star is, because this is an unobservable concept anyway, and we will, as we get closer to it, we will know certainly better. As you probably know, staff has produced a very good paper on our star, which indicates that it's probably a tad higher than where it used to be. But I'm not endorsing this. I think, as I said, as we get closer to it, we will know better whether we are there, and there are multiple factors that are going to.
I'm going to focus on
impact
futures
that.
now.
Now, your second question, is this 25
We have
basis
just
point
taken out the
cuts
highs here.
going to be a boost for our economy, given that so much is structural? So, I know I'm preaching the converted here, but obviously there is a lag
Getting
between
suppressed.
the time when we make a decision and the impact is actually felt and can be observed in the economy. What we are still observing at the moment is the impact of our tightening decisions from more than a year ago, almost 2 years ago now. This continues to have an impact. We believe that the peak has been reached in relation to GDP, but there will be continued, although downward sloping effects of those decisions, and we will have the same kind of lag applying to the decision that we are making now. So that's point number one. The passing of time does not satisfy the instantaneous satisfaction that we would have to see the results coming out of our decisions. This is the reality of monetary policy and the functioning of our economies. The second part of my answer to your question, because you do refer to structural causes.
Keep in mind, she knew all these questions already,
gives me
right?
a chance to
She knew that all these
actually,
questions were coming.
Command the Draghi report. We haven't had time to dissect everything. Neither has anyone, for that matter, because it's sufficiently substantive and material enough to require more time and special attention. But it's a formidable report in that it poses a diagnosis which is severe, but which is just, in our view. And it also points to structural reforms, practical proposals to achieve such structural reforms that could be extremely helpful for Europe to be stronger, but also for us as central bank to achieve better results in our monetary policy. If productivity can rise as a result of the structural reforms, for instance, that would be very good news for us. If the capital market union can be implemented and more financing be made available in order to finance innovation, that is good news for us as well when it comes to inflation, price stability, and the components that underlie this work that we do.
Thank you, Madame Lagarde. And the next question goes to Aude Kerzulek of BFM TV. Aude, please.
Thank you for having my question, Madame Lagarde. Are you worried about the risk of below target inflation? In France, INSEE estimates that inflation will be 1.6% in December, and we can add that oil prices are at the lowest since COVID, so is it a risk? And second question about the Mario Draghi's report. Can it have an impact on monetary policies, on the ECB's mandates? Thank you.
We're almost there, baby. We're almost...
As you will
Stay
appreciate,
awake.
I'm not
Stay
going
sharp.
to give you an answer that is country-specific because we work on a euro area basis. But obviously, it's a risk that we have to be attentive to, which is why
There we go. Keep a close eye on this one. Autumn house spot as well here. Futures
that
is getting
2%
rejected.
sustainably. Has to be asymmetric in the medium term, as we have
There we go. We took out futures highs.
in our strategy review, which remains completely valid. You mentioned two things. You mentioned one thing in particular. You mentioned energy. Well, energy has been one of the key factors that took prices up, directly and indirectly through all sorts of channels. And in the same vein as it took prices up, it is helping to move prices down. Well, this is an exogenous matter, and this is one, that can move again, and that we have to be prepared for. The second question you ask is, and I think I have partially responded to your question, some of the proposals in the Draghi report, as well as in the LTA report, by the way, because achieving the single market and improving the competitiveness in our view
Let's
can
see if
be
it has
very
any
complementary.
impact, this conversation.
But some of
now.
those proposals touch directly on
Euro still pushing.
what we are specifically concerned about. And the Capital Market Union is one in particular on which the Governing Council has had a strong view and issued a special opinion upon. In the same vein, the financing of innovation, the increase of productivity, the competitiveness in relation to its external position, all of that actually matters when it comes to the work that we have to do. I didn't see in Mario Draghi's report any suggestion that the mandate of the ECB should be modified. We have a single mandate, as you know, which is price stability. We comply with the treaty and with the mandate that was given by the founding fathers of Europe. And hopefully we can, not hopefully, but we will deliver on that mandate. And whatever is suggested by Mario Draghi has a lot more to do with structural reforms.
Back
and
at
I very
all-time
much
high.
hope that the executive authorities in charge will actually take it to heart and will see a path towards those structural reforms.
Thank you. Turning to the remote participants, I'd like to give the floor to Martin Arnold of the Financial Times. Martin, please.
So Martin is still with us.
Today.
Anyway, hello, President Lagarde. Two questions from me, if I may. Firstly, I'd like to ask about services inflation.
10 minutes for the New York Stock Exchange open, then we close down this video.
Went up again. How much concern does that give you? And what do you see as the risks going forward on that, as you've raised your forecast slightly for core inflation? And the second question, if I may, is back on the Draghi report. Does the ECB intend to adjust monetary policy in any way to facilitate implementation of Draghi's proposals? Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for your two questions. And thank you for pointing to this services inflation, because that is clearly the component of prices that requires very attentive understanding, monitoring, and I'll come to that in a second. But suffice to say that it went up from 4.2 to 4.4.
Whereas your next trade, waiting for the US open in 10 minutes.
That particular segment is increasing. And we've tried to decompose what is behind it, and it's a combination of holiday packages, insurance, and I'm trying to remember what is the third one. I'll come back I'm sure it will come back, but it's predominantly these two. We are looking attentively to the nexus of three elements. Number one, wages. Number two, profits. Number three, productivity. And services is particularly sensitive to wage increases. So our expectations is that services inflation will decline over the course of 25. Why? Because what staff had anticipated, which is moderation of wages growth, buffering of wages cost by slightly declining profit, and increase of productivity is actually being demonstrated by numbers, by observations. If you look at wages, whether you look at compensation per employee, whether you look at negotiated wages, whether you look at unit labor cost.
She kind of looks like my aunt.
All of that is going down. Wage tracker, same thing.
I'm not joking.
And our expectations is that it will continue to go down in the course of 25. We will, on negotiated wages, we will still have relatively high numbers. And we know that some are in the making at the moment. The auto workers unions, the IG Metall request, and in various other countries, but with some heterogeneity will continue to move wages.
Okay, I think this is the biggest move that happened there. I think now we're heading in towards the dollar starting to push up.
First half of 25.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Christine. All right. We're heading now into the US Open in like 6 minutes. We gave it a try at first here. We gave it a try. Price came back to our entry. Couple of lessons I think from that is that around news, of course, around these events here, we never risk more than we want to. We can handle a little bit of drawdown. That's no problem. And you know that once the highs are taken out, you can see and experience these type of pullbacks here. Obviously right now, based upon what you can see here, you can just confirm it's extremely indecisive. Extremely indecisive right now at the moment. Based upon what you can see now is that we're kind of holding above the initial all-time high on gold spot here, 25.31. But if you go to the futures chart, you actually swept the previous highs, the all-time highs, and now you're trading below it, right? So this also is definitely interesting and important to think about as well. So far, I have to say, this is holding up very well. This is holding up very well. Now, the US Open in 5 minutes, will most likely give us somewhat of an impulse here. But I don't recommend to sell here right now until like further confirmation. Why? Because you're now closing above all-time highs here on spot, and now you're potentially even flipping this into support here. And again, now the dollar is starting to push up again. Gold does not really care either. All right, so that's important. Let's take the correlation coefficient one more time for gold, and let's see what happens with the correlation itself. So let's use futures. There we go. 1 hour. Still on the negative side right now at the moment, so pay attention to see if the dollar can hold up here. If the dollar can hold up above this level of support, then we probably know what's going to happen eventually. But the euro is moving, and it seems that the gold is moving with the euro. All right, the gold is moving with the euro at this particular moment. We can also check it one more time here as well if you want to have that confirmation. Let's use it for the euro as well. There we go. Yeah, strong. You can see it positive correlation right now with the euro. So if the euro stays strong, gold stays strong. All right, that's the thought process behind it here. So if the euro stays strong right now at the moment, then gold will potentially stay strong as well. So there is no reason to sell gold when the euro stays strong. All right, that's why we use this tool, the correlation coefficients, to determine the current strength and weakness. And now we know, now today is the day of the euro. Right, we just have watch the ECB press conference. You look beautiful today, Christine. Absolutely gorgeous. You can see right now that based upon that, we have to follow what the euro is doing. And if the euro stays strong, it's kind of obvious. Okay, gold stays strong as well, so no need to look for sales at the moment, unless the euro starts to show some weakness right here. Okay, that's the one. That's the one. So no need to sell now. No need to sell now. Okay. 3 minutes. So euro strong, gold strong, right? That's the lesson for now. At the moment, euro strong, gold strong. Euro is still pushing, but back in resistance, back in our next layer of resistance. You might think, what is this weird chart like? What is this? What are we doing here? This is a custom formula that shows you the euro against all the other currencies, the major currencies. Okay. So we have the euro against the British pound, we have the euro against the dollar, the euro against the New Zealand dollar, the euro against the Canadian dollar, the euro against the Australian dollar, the euro against the Swiss franc. We put them all together. And we divide them by 6, and then we get a formula. And that then includes this chart, which is our custom basket, our custom euro index. So if the euro outperforms all these other currencies and there is a positive correlation with gold, then there is no need to sell gold. Make sense? Type in yes if you get it here. Right now we have the open in around 30 seconds. So we have the US open here. Are they going to drive gold up? Right now you have to understand that yes, on spot we are pushing aggressively. On futures we are still below the previous highs. The previous highs right there. Okay. We're still below the previous highs. So let's check out what the euro is going to do today. Today is the day of the euro. Lorenzo, can you cut and paste that index on the euro basket you created? Yes, I have all the baskets for you if you want it. And if you want it, you can get it. Just get into our Discord. Get into the just get into the traders chat, and then I'll share the link with you right there. And then you got it. And then you can integrate this. And then you have the basket of baskets. Right there. The basket of baskets. You click on it. Then you import it. Okay? It's easy stuff. Now, if you don't have a premium or essential package on TradingView, you will not be able to see the lower time frames. It's not always a problem though. You can always look at the daily as well here. Right? You can also look at the daily time frame sometimes as well here. So currently dollar is at support. The euro is pushing, is not stopping for now, and that means that gold will hold up. Are you ready into gold? We took a trade right at the beginning of the stream. We took a short price shoot up against us, and then it came down aggressively with us. And now we're back up again. So some volatility today. Let's see what the big boys are thinking. It's pretty obvious if the euro keeps piling in and starts really going and breaking out of that trend that we were drawing, then yeah, this is gonna end up being a strong bounce of the euro. And it's funny because we're talking about an interest rate cut, so everyone expects the euro to be extremely weak, and then the news comes out, and what does the euro do? The euro shoots to the upside. So again, once the dollar is gonna do the interest rate cut as well, you know, always take it with a grain of salt. Never expect it just to drop automatically because it's the interest rate cut. It might as well not drop and push up further. So yeah, important stuff. I'm gonna stick on a futures chart, guys, for now. I need to keep a close eye on the futures chart here, but on futures, we are unable to break the highs. We're unable to break it. We're unable to close it. Or close above it, at least for now. So that's why I am much more interested in the futures now than on the spot. And this will have an impact on this chart right here that you can see as well here. So yes, sir. Why do you want to sell? Respect the trend. Well, the thing about that is here is, you know, yes, respect the trend. I do agree with you. You know, respect the overall trend here. But we're in a range, man. We've been ranging for a long period of time. And for me personally, different rules apply. Different rules apply when being in a range. Being in a range overall. So what will be the closure? What will be the confirmation? So the confirmation is going to be the futures chart unable to break and close above it. The next stop wick gets created. The euro will be unable to break this level of resistance. Starts also flipping bearish. And then we'll try again. Why? Because we have still not closed above the all-time high on futures. And if you guys know it, futures drives spot in that manner. Of course, the most. The futures is centralized. It actually, when it comes down to Forex and the spot chart, right? Your Forex broker, it's actually decentralized. So, you know, it's a copy of a copy, we call it. So I highly recommend you guys to sometimes also look at the futures chart as well. Dollar is ranging, okay? Dollar is in a range. That's usually a good sign. After a drop, back in a range. Let's mark out the dollar here. On the lower time frame, I'm looking on the 1 minute time frame for the dollar. For the euro, we are now in resistance. Right around there, right around here. Okay, so we are in resistance now with the euro as well. And yeah, like I said, futures has been struggling. So this looks like a strong break, but futures will confirm if we stay above and gonna go for highs or lows here. Yeah, Lorenzo, today's a crazy day. Gold all over the place. Yes. Yeah. One of these days, my friend. One of these days. So what would you do in one of these days if you trade gold, guys? What is the best thing to do when you still trade gold around moments like these here? Give me a list. Give me a list of things that you might have to take consideration. Marcus says, if you look at the delta of gold, it's minus 3.3K. On what time frame? Shout out to Marco, by the way. Good to see you. There we go. All-time high is right there. There we go. Yeah, let's see what the chat is saying. Risk management, yes. Lower risk, yes. I agree. Close the terminal, come back tomorrow. Fair enough. No stop loss, full margin. Put my whole account on red. What are you looking for? We're gonna keep it very simple now, right? You can just see when gold is done. Right, we can see when gold is done. You can kind of feel and see when gold has an exhaustion here. And, you know, we're struggling to even close one candle above the futures all-time high here, right? So that is important. Now, even this candle has not closed yet, also on spot. We still have 20 minutes left here. We are pushing up. We are pushing up. The dollar is in a range. The dollar is no longer coming down here. We're just ranging on the lower time frame, so we're keeping a close eye on the dollar. But the most important thing I'm looking for is the futures chart, the futures all-time high here. Bruno 2 says, I want to deposit and trade with 5 figures on Vantage. Which account will be the best for me? If you trade with Vantage and you deposit at least, how much? You said 5 figures? I would, yeah, well, it depends, right? If you trade with more than $5,000, I would suggest you take an ECN account. Anything below that, I would say, you know, just take the standard account. Just take the standard account. Yeah. Or deposit a little bit less, sign up with the link here in the chat, in the description, and get your deposit bonus, your 50% deposit bonus, one time only, for your DJs here. By clicking on this link, you get an Indonesian, I get an Indonesian page, you should get an English page, or whatever the case may be, or wherever you're from. I'm in Indonesia, so I will get an Indonesian page out. Bebas via tambahan trading. Okay then, okay, that's what I get. An SDP account for smaller capital. Why? Because, you know, you don't want to pay a significant amount of commissions. Because, yeah, then you have to make that back, and that's not going to really work in your favor. Emmanuel says it should consolidate at the highs before dropping, and it's happening today. The daily candle has to be completely closed bullish. So anyways, when we took the trade, G's, who got out on break even or made some profit in our group here in the chat? Hope that the risk, you understand that risk management is critical, right? Around these days here. That includes not over risking, being patient, not being too stressed, close the trade. Out of stress. No, just chill. Just chill. What are you looking for with gold futures? Well, where do we close? Do we close above the all-time high here, or do we close, you know, below it? This is the first hourly candle closure that we're gonna find and see here. To be honest, I'm really happy that we're finally getting out of it, though. I really like to see us getting out of this range. I mean, we have been trading this range now for a couple of weeks. It was a fun ride, right? We learned a lot in this range here with the community. I do believe we really learned a lot of things, like how to trade the internal ranges, how to look at the internal structures, how to you know, manage you know, our positions and stuff, all that stuff here internally. Like, we learned a lot from a range here. So for now, next time when we are back in a range again, we know exactly what type of approach we should anticipate for the live streams, right? And that is just by really looking at the internal structures for us to just make some money, man, to take more trades like that and make money and just predict the highs and lows. And then, you know, the moment we break out of the trend or break out of the range, we can, you know, we can resume kind of our bigger picture kind of way, right? And when does it happen? Usually the day after, because you have then a strong daily closure above here. Look at this daily candle, by the way. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of it, but look at this daily candle on FX. Right there. What do you guys see? Top Dog says, still can't believe that Witch was the catalyst. Adjanax says, zero support, no bottom wick. Yes, correct. That's indeed the case here. So we had to take it out today. We had to take it out today. Okay, today was the day. Do you think it's time to sell? Like, that's like, what's your reasoning? Like, I want to hear your reasoning behind the sell here. What is your reasoning? Because it's like, it feels like it's just a bit too random. Like, the reasoning of our initial sell was, we swiped out the previous daily high. We anticipated a fake move before the ECB to roll over. That was our thought process, right? Didn't work out. We ended up breaking even when price came to our entry. But that is the thought process. What is the thought process now for sells, in your opinion, then? If you say, should we sell here? Then what is the reasoning? Okay? Because in my opinion, there is no reasoning to sell at this particular moment. Okay, I think that that makes a lot of sense. There is nothing here. Why here and why not here? Why not here? Why not here? And guess what? There is nothing there to refer back to. There is nothing there to refer back to. Bitget says, reason overbought market, no reaction, dollar and bad month for longs. I agree, but then there is one more layer, and that's called timing, right? You can be correct about your analysis and saying that the dollar or gold is going to come down at some point, but then the question is, when is it coming down? The timing of it, and you want to get closer and closer to the timing, so you can decide, I'm going to just enter a sell now, and I'm just going to you know, sit on my hands and take the risk here at this moment and wait to see if he can come back down and hope for the best. Or, you know, we need to wait for some sort of confirmation in order for us to say, okay, it's worth it, and I accept the fact that I'm not predicting the top here. That's just the thought process as well. The timing becomes important. Nuke says sell now and uninstall MetaTrader. You know, I tell you something. I tell you something while we're waiting here. Let me quickly get this trade taken here. We never use it anymore. I don't know why. There we go. Did you know that the most profitable retail traders in the world, and I quote, if I can find it. And I quote, accounts that had done the best were the accounts of people who forgot they had an account. That's the reality of what we're doing here, Giz. Guys that forgot that they had an account did actually the best, statistically speaking. Spoken. Set and forget. Set and forget. I'm a big fan of that. I do like it. Okay, so it's all about the dollar. Again, you can see clearly that on the dollar side of things right now at the moment, we're in a range. We're no longer tanking. All right, so that means the dollar is finding somewhat of its support here. Gold is still doing its thing here. Euro is still holding up, even though we're we're seeing quite a reaction here. We're still moving up, and in 10 minutes we have the hourly closure. So. As our gold is boring, let's do the Nasdaq. You guys want to look at it? I mean, we can, if you want to. Okay. Urkus says bearish September. Yes, so far looking very good here, but we've still a long month ahead of us here for gold. We have the interest rate decision for the dollar, the FOMC, which is going to be very important, maybe one of the most important, changes in the economy. So, yeah, no, this means, in my opinion, nothing yet. Nothing yet. But at least we're out of the range, geez. At least we're out of the range. This took a month for us to break out here. FJ says, I sold at 25.27. I think that we sold there too before, right? We sold there too. Yeah. We sold there too. We sold there, price came up, price came back down. It came back down to 25.21. And that was it. And that was it. Then it came up again. So yeah, important not to get too greedy, man. Okay, check the Nasdaq. Okay, let's check the Nasdaq then, right? Let's do it. Let's check out Nas. NQ. What did we have there? We had this, that 4-hour trend. Major resistance is going to be at the fixed, of course, 19,400. I still think we're holding up very strong. It looks like, yeah, it's going to drop, right? But then it doesn't. You will see. You see this happening all the time. Holding up here. And then it, boom, it breaks. So be cautious with selling. If you do break below though, and you close below the 19,211, I mean that's pretty decent. But for now, this could easily flip it to support, and then make people believe that this trend line is gonna be a rejection play, and then we just do the opposite and we break them out. So yeah, critical levels are sitting at 19,400 and 19,580. These two levels are the major levels that I would look for. Same range, expansion, break, retest. We saw the previous rejection from that zone, from this high, right there. Now we're talking internal range. So, you know, at this particular moment, I think that you are going to see something like this. If you take out the Sunday open and we look at the previous weekly data, then we have indeed the previous weekly very high. So this is the previous weekly very high, and we're flipping that into support right now. So that means we're in between two levels that are critical here. A critical clean level of support on the 4-hour time frame, but also that trend there. So you're now kind of hovering in between here. It's setting up for a breakout, man. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. Unless we start breaking down and we close below it on the 1 hour or the 30-minute time frame. Let's say we close below it on the 30-minute time frame. I'm willing to sell it down. But as long as we stay above it, then this still signifies strength for the NAS. So yeah, we can keep close eye on it for sure. And it says leave gold sells today. We took sales before. We tried to take sales before. So you can see right now that that it's still holding up very strong. So You know, we're above now the futures all-time high. We're above the spot all-time high. We're looking very strong here. Dollar is indeed slowing down, so that's good. But the volume is kind of dying right now as well. You can kind of see this. So we didn't lose money, so that's good. We kept our profits in our pockets from yesterday. As you can check out some testimonials of the VIP. Yeah, our VIP is closed though, so we don't allow any guys in our group right now at the moment. Okay, so we are fully closed. But yeah, it's still great to see what's currently happening here. I love it, man. Ale, for those of you who are still unsure of LTA, Testify is the best, but only when you put in the work and time and dedicate yourself to the process. No matter how smart you are, it might take less or more time, but the result will eventually show. I want to show you some of my trades in the past week. My biggest ever using LTA netted me 1K in profit. And I was able to maintain a 100% win rate for the last 4 trading days to make a total of 2.4K, which to me is unbelievable. This was taken on my funded account. I also passed it in 3 days. This is undeniably the best group ever made. Thank you, man. Wow. Let's see. Love it. Keeping your risk small. I can see it already. Beautiful. Beautiful. Congratulations, man. Congratulations, Ale, man. Incredible. Well done. I'm very proud of you, my friend. Funded next. Profit split. Another beautiful confirmation. Another beautiful payout from one of our members in our group. So if you're interested in trading with Funded Next and doing a challenge and passing your challenge and cashing out, so you don't have to utilize your own money, then what you can do is you can sign up here with the link in the description to get an 8% discount when you type in Limitless8. Limitless8. And another beautiful thing here, so go to Funded Next here, click on the link, type in Limitless8, and another beautiful thing that we have today, guys. We are the official sponsors with Limitless right now of our own, boxing sports gym. All right. Really awesome. Really awesome. So we're building the gym right now. And as you guys can see beautifully, we are sparring here every day, every week, I could better say. We're training there every day. We have our own gym right there with our Limitless printed beautifully on the ring. And we're going to put this one on the wall. And we're paying the pro fighters, the sponsored professional fighters in our kind of community. And we're betting on some horses. We're betting on some potential giants, some future champs, okay? So yeah, we're doing some serious stuff outside of this streaming game. And the best way to give back to the country where I currently reside, that's Indonesia, is of course by doing something in return. And this seemed my best fit right there. So that's pretty epic, man. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Does Funded Next accept US clients? I am not sure. I do not think so. I think that you should mainly stick with futures if that's the case. Ali says don't trade right now, be patient. 3D says don't sell, guys. Gold is the master of pranking. I agree. We had our chance. We took a sell before. That was a potential scenario. we managed to get out risk-free, and obviously we came back up. So yeah, I don't see any sells now at the moment too. Today is giveaway day. Today is giveaway day. Jeez, I forgot to tell you guys, but that's actually the yeah. That's you're right. You're right. Today's it's giveaway day. Juan says, imagine if we held the sell. That would have been I don't know, not as good. That would have hurt a little bit. I mean, in the end, our risk was not overwhelming, so we would not, you know, blow our account. I cannot even blow my account with top step. There is a limit you can lose on a day. But anyways, you don't want to do that. You don't want to hit your max loss limit, your max daily loss. So you get locked out of your account for the rest of the day here. You don't want that. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, for the Nasdaq is also holding support here. There's just no less volume right now. The press conference I think the press conference is finished. There we go. Press conference is finished, and you see that the volume started to come down here. So I'm gonna give it like what, 20, 25, 50 minutes, 20 minutes, and then you know, we'll see if there is enough volume still to catch up here, or if that was just a move today, and that tomorrow the final day here will be determined. If gold is gonna indeed create another all-time high, or if gold does what gold does best, and that is reversing down. Top stack max loss limit is gone right now. I have no idea if it's gone actually. I even don't know if it's gone. But what I do know is that you can set your risk settings manually. Guys, okay, quickly go over yesterday's trade. Yesterday we had two trades actually. All right, so there were two different setups here. We anticipated the reversal. That was yesterday. So we had two different trades that we took here. But I think we were stuck. We were stuck in position for I don't know how long. 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours? No, 2.5 hours. At least 2.5 hours. And it looked good. At least it looked very good. And then it started to look worse. We started to come down. And then in the end, indeed, we managed to continue to drive. At the end, we started to go up. And you can see that consolidation was setting up for a reversal. It just took some time. It just took some time yesterday. That's all. It took some time. So patience, man. Sometimes that's the better way. The better way. Yeah, so far it's holding up. Nasdaq as well is looking flat. Completely flat. Why is all-time high trading always so hard to trade? Well, number one, you don't have information to refer back to, and secondary, there is a lot of manipulation happening around these all-time highs here. So, you know, we just have witnessed now for the first time this hourly candle closure. It's the first time we actually see now candle closing above, a strong candle closing above here on futures and on spot here. So yeah, we can definitely confirm now that we have officially broken out and closed above it. So that signifies you know, a lot of strength. The dollar is flattening out, and while the dollar is flattening out, gold is still going up. So still looking pretty decent right there. At the same time, the euro is doing the same thing. It's just holding up very well. Let's go to the 1 minute. Let's see what the 1 minute is doing here. Mario says Nasdaq is gonna flush down today. Yeah, that might be a setup. That might be a setup. You know, somewhat of a closure below the previous weekly very high. We call this an entry model forward play. So if we see something like this, where you tap another candle here, you hold here, and then the next candle creates a top wick and it flushes down, then that's indeed a potential, that's indeed a short play. That would mean you enter a short, you know, when it breaks. You enter a short when it breaks. Stops go, of course, above the candles, above the previous candle wick. So the current wick that breaks the candle. And then you target, you target the lower price level, like the 19,986. So yeah, that's definitely a level that I would say, okay, if you can break that and we set in a top wick on this next candle, then we have our EM4 play to the downside. But for now, it's holding up above support, so there's no confirmation yet. And yeah, in the 4 hour, you can kind of see that we're, you know, we have that trend line rejection, but at the same time, that doesn't mean much because, you know, we're also forming support here. So yeah, definitely set an alert. I'm definitely gonna set an alert here for the Nasdaq. When would you look for sales for gold? Well, the thing about this is we talked about the Bookmap, right? And we talked about the levels that are below that can work as these type of magnets. And currently we cannot see somewhat of a big order here. There's nothing below. There's literally nothing below. There is only, you could say, liquidity built above here, orders placed above here. Nothing below. But the moment a strong, big, massive order pops up on this thing, somewhere down, we might have something interesting to take consideration, yeah. Unless you want to scalp it. But we kind of have to stick to our approach of today. But unless you want to scalp it by waiting for this range to break down, pull back and sell off back to the all-time high. You know, that's the only way if you're gonna look for gold now. But the better confirmations are gonna be, of course, when you pull back below the all-time high itself. Jamie says Danvo blew account again yesterday in an hour. He's a scammer and a very bad emotional trader. So how do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that? I didn't hear him. I don't know. Curious to how you got that information. I am in the man. Okay. It seems like you're not on Twitter, Lorenzo, which is good for you. You don't need trading drama. I mean, people try to get me involved. You know, I see these mentions coming up sometimes here. Who knows, man? Maybe I'm gonna be a Twitter guy later on. Who knows? All right, baby. Okay. The euro is slowing down. We talked about the euro weaker. If the euro gets weaker, gold gets weaker. If the euro gets weaker, gold gets weaker. That means the dollar gets stronger. Dollar stronger, euro weaker, gold weaker. Nothing too fancy though, but anyways. James says he blew 95% 2 weeks ago, made 120% last week, and with the remaining 5%, and then blew it all again yesterday in an hour. I don't know what's going on, man. I really don't know what is going on there. I really don't know what's going on. Okay, Nasdaq's pushing. So if this flips bearish, I am definitely shorting that. Just so you guys know, if we flip bearish here, I'm definitely shorting it. Back down. That's the Nasdaq in a nutshell. I have an alert set. So we will get notified if that's the case. If the Nasdaq breaks this low, I am shorting it. Otherwise, what time is the giveaway? We're gonna do it soon, man. Yeah, let's just do it soon. All right, euro is starting to slow down, which is good. After the event here, we were unable to break this this resistance. This is also going to be good for the dollar. The dollar was chilling. Right now, the dollar is gonna, you know, potentially give us that that tool. You have that break. You're still in the range. Dollar is still in the range here. So, you know, we're trading above all-time high for gold now at the moment. You can see here, this is just a short-term pullback. A short-term pullback for gold here, and that's practically it. Check out 25.46 here. A quick scalp, maybe. What about a quick scalp? Last time you said September is bearish for gold. Yes, sir. The month is not finished yet, though. We're just getting started. Yeah, if we can pull back and we get rejected here, I might be willing to see if we can take a little scalp here, a little scalp in between. Why not? Little scalp. The reason why is the dollar is holding up clean in that range here. The euro right now currently is in that rejection mode, and I like to see that from the euro being rejected or getting rejected at the 130. So that's good. Do expect gold to still bounce up potentially here. And yeah, man, let's see if we can then break and reflip. Let's see on the lower time frame back to the all-time high. So that means just a simple retest. I think that the volume is slowing down. I think we're slowing down in general. We also have kind of our 30-minute closure here, which is in 10 minutes, which is then an indecisive doji. So if you can utilize this, then this might cause a short-term pullback. I'm not saying it's gonna come down all the way, but we might are able to just take a little bit of a short-term push down here if the dollar indeed decides to hold up, and the euro indeed decides to reject fully. The best confirmation is going to be if this futures chart closes below this level. So the 25.70 for futures. Because right now, the reason why you're pulling back on spot here. The reason why you're pulling back is because of the fact that futures is actually bouncing from the lows here, from that support. Let's see if we can close below the 25.70 on futures. That would be really nice. And then if you then re-break the lows, I think then we have pretty good confirmation. So that would mean something like this. Where we break the lows again. Unless futures comes up or comes down and breaks down, and gold is still hovering around these levels. But as you can see now on futures itself, this looks like just a bounce. So you want to see a breakdown. because we're literally bouncing from support, from the all-time high. Yeah, you've kind of your jump. HFX is done. Vo fucked this again. He took everyone's money in the map. So didn't like I'm super confused, man. I don't know I really don't know what to say. I'm a bit confused. Why and how it works, and the mem, and then this, and then no communication. I really don't know. That's why here. So you see how important it is to keep a close eye on the futures chart as well. Because if you just see this, if you look here at this overall structure, you think, oh yeah, this is a clean sell right now, right? It's coming down and then guys start selling here. But what you then see on futures, you're actually tapping into this support. So you're actually tapping into all-time high support, right? This is the all-time high on futures, on the futures chart, and you tapped into it. And that's on the 5 minutes what you can see here. Tapping into the futures chart right there. Now a good confirmation is then if you can close below that. Nasdaq is also hanging around. But yeah, if you do break the lows, I'm definitely looking for. I'm definitely would short that. Definitely will be interested in shorting it. Let's see if we can establish a new push down here. And give us a nice closure in 4 minutes, 5 minutes, last 5 minute candle, 50-minute candle, 30-minute candle, below the open, below the futures all-time high. Then we have something nice here, potentially. Fixed POC is respected. Yeah, if you can close below here, that would be very good. Is the volume indicator your number one favorite tool? Yes. Yeah. The volume profile indicator is by far my favorite tool for day trading, scalping. Due to the fact that you create ranges, out of ranges come levels, out of levels come opportunities. And you can see over and over again, I don't have to prove it any longer, like how precise these levels actually are and do work. And if you can build a strategy around that, you have something fantastic. And especially when gold is in a big range, how many times did you use these levels here correctly? When price pulled back, sold off, pulled back, went up. Yesterday was a great example. We, we definitely utilize this a lot. So yes. Still pushing up, right? And the reason why is because gold is holding that support on futures. This is what I'm talking about. So this is the futures all-time high. This is now where we bounced from. So this level is where we kind of broke above it. You're now slowing down, at least on the lower time frame. You can see now that we're pinning out here. We topped out. We set in the top wick and we're pulling back. And on the 50 minutes, you can see now that we came back and we are now retesting this low. And if you're holding above that low, then gold is just going to do this. So you can sell, but the confirmation will remain the same. If you break below, you have the confirmation of price actually breaking down. Does the volume profile line work as support and resistance? Yes, you could say so. I would recommend you to download the ebook. Click on the linker in the description, the first link you see underneath. Rush me a free copy. And then you will have access to your to the ebook where we have explained everything in depth. Everything in depth explained. You will find the ebook right there. Okay, it looks like this. It's 74 pages big. We're gonna release a second version, and that will include a lot more things that we have been working on in the back. So if this is the first edition, then you know what's coming next, right? You understand that we're always innovating, we're always improving, we're always making things more precise, and yeah, a lot of work went into this one. Can you imagine what the next version will do or will bring to the table? All free, no cost, nothing. What are we gonna do today with the giveaway? Yeah, we're gonna give access to our VIP today. Yeah, we are closed, so you cannot buy it or something like that. So you know, we're gonna give exclusive access right now to our VIP. That's gonna be today. Next week, funded accounts. potentially again. So you see that, right? That's why. You see this? Gold holding support there. So yeah, sell, sell, sell. Well, gold is holding support above futures, all-time highs here. So you might as well continue to drive up, right? That's the thought process behind it. The confirmation lays within this breaking down first. All right, then we can talk about the spread between spot and futures. The spread between spot and futures is the following. This is the all-time high for spot. That's this high right here, 25.31, 25.32. All right, so we're talking about a massive gap between the all-time high and between this expansion. On futures, right now we are literally at support. We're at support. You can see that right there. We're at support right now from the all-time high at 25.70. Different price, same moves, right? Different pricing, same moves here. Slightly different structure right now, same structure. All right, so it's very important that if futures is in support, and we don't force a short here. We don't force a short here. It would give us a lot of headache, a lot of drama right there. And I can guarantee you a lot of guys were entering sells. And what's going on? We're pushing back up again. Why? Because futures is showing us that we're holding. That we're holding up. Does it mean we can still break down? Yes, we can. But why not just wait for that break first? And then capitalize on the spread between the all-time high of gold spot, what we all trade, and the break of gold futures. They go hand in hand with each other. And there we go, we're pushing up. So that's no surprise to me. No surprise to me. The thought process was behind a short was if we break below here, and we actually close down below on the 5-minute or 50-minute. I don't need like an hourly closure below. I just needed like a 5-minute or 50-minute closure below. That's it. Then we'll most likely would have broken this low right here, right there, and then we could take it down towards the previous all-time high, right? The 25.31. So right now, clearly we're doing we're holding up. Did you have a mentor for trading? Who were they? Did you have any general mentors outside of trading? I had a guy in Bali that I learned from a lot years ago. Yeah, fantastic guy. Learned a lot from him. He actually introduced to me the VARM profile, so that was really great. But when it comes down to these guys online, I would suggest to really learn from Larry Williams. He's definitely one of my favorites. Like in a very short period of time, I realized this is the guy. This is the guy. Mr. Larry, 83 years old. Excellent guy. Excellent, excellent. That's not coming down, huh? A little bit. Let's see. Let's see if this is just a fake move. consolidation, manipulation, expansion. Who knows? Let's see. Let's see. But yeah, spot is futures is holding. Futures seems to be holding here, and it's just holding that that trend. You see that 5-minute trend, and that's why gold is pushing up. So all the guys that were selling in the chat, sell now, sell now, sell now. That is going to be an issue. Sometimes you need to be patient, and I agree. Sometimes you don't have to be patient. It's a sweet balance. It's a sweet balance. I agree with you. It doesn't always have to be patience, 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 but it just depends on the situation. Yeah, when is the giveaway? Yeah, we're gonna do a giveaway, man. A 15k funded next account. We're in a good mood here. All right, we are. We're still looking good. We managed to close our trade risk-free. That was good. So we're in a good mood here. Let's do a 15k account funded next, and a VIP membership, exclusive access to our group when we're closed down. Yeah. Carl says, what to do if I sold? Yeah, it's tough right now because we don't know how long and strong we're holding here. Clearly, we found some resistance around the 25.79 on futures, so that's going to be... Yeah, clearly we have some resistance now sitting around maybe the 25.51, but we'll see. We'll see if this high will give us something. But yeah. This was a trap. This was a sell trap. A short trap. Too bad though. I would have loved to see price coming down, breaking black below, and then close below it. Then I would definitely shorted it. Definitely shorted it from there. Rose Angeline says, wait for futures to go to 2600 and a big sell pullback. Well, we'll take that in consideration. We'll take that in consideration. Sam says, I just started to watch you before 3 weeks. I would like to know how you trade gold when it's trending and not ranging. When it's trending, man, we'll take over. We'll clean up. We'll clean up when it's trending. Our biggest win streaks always comes from trending markets, for sure. When we're choppy in the range, we're doing good. We have been adapted. We adapted quite well this month, I have to say. But yeah, no, when we're trending, we're cleaning up, baby. Seems pretty trending to me. Yeah, maybe on the lower time frame, but you know, no. What he means is like the actual push to the upside here, the actual trend push right now. And now we're looking to get there, right? It depends on how we close here on the daily. Like there are all kinds of different layers that are gonna give us that confirmation. But yeah, in the trend we clean up, that's for sure. Because then it's just previous daily high, previous daily PUC, previous daily very high, pullback, continuation. Then we look at the internal range of the London and Asian session, and we might manipulate the lows and then look for buys. It's just perfect, man. It's just perfect. Just as the September is great so far. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. Even the range, we found our kind of our second strategy. So if we have a trending market, we know how to trade this. We stick usually on the 30-minute time frame. When we're in a range, we're usually playing on the lower time frames. And yeah, sticking with the internal structures, yeah. But yeah, that's why shorting was very tricky, and I was very close to it. But if the futures chart doesn't close or break below here, there was no reason to short. And the reason why this is so important for you, maybe to take consideration also next time, is when you see price pulling down, pulling back, and on spot you don't see much of like support here, and you think, oh, this is gonna be a free fall, then also take always the future chart in consideration, because it might not look the same, and that's important. Okay. Beautiful, G's. Got a new message here from our coach. Look at that. Look at this. Officially, it was officially done. And now it's hanging there, man. Nice. Yo, global. Limitless global, G's. Limitless goes global. That looks awesome. That looks epic. Time to record some podcasts right in our boxing gym. Right in our boxing gym. So if you're interested in coming to Bali and you want to train with us, come to Bali, Indonesia, join our gym, come to our gym and start training with us. In the Limitless Boxing Gym. Lions MMA, you'll find it. You'll find it right there. It's epic. Epic. That's really dope. I'm really happy about that. That's really cool. Okay, man. Hey, geez, let's do the giveaway. Okay, let's do the giveaway right now at the moment. I think that futures is holding up. It's doing its best to hold up. Gold as well. This was a trap, a sell trap. Okay. So there are definitely no clean sells right now in the market at this particular moment. You can see that right there, right? So let's do the giveaway. Let's set it up. Thursday is our giveaway day, right? We always give away something back to the community here. What we tend to do a lot is we tend to do the following. And that is all the YouTube earnings and all that stuff right there. We just try to do and give something back. Because we don't need that shit. We don't need that shit, okay? So let's set it up. And yeah. It was worth a try though. It was worth a trade though. It was worth a try. And in regards to the trade itself, I mean, you know, as long as we got out risk-free without any drawdown, any loss, then you know, it's all good. Then the trade from yesterday is still there. And yeah, I would have loved to short it if we closed below, but we didn't. So we're just pushing further, and it might as well continue to drive up as well here on a simple 5-minute trend. But you know, how far, we don't know. It's hard to measure risk to reward to. So yeah, let's set up the giveaway, man. And let's get you guys involved here. How can you join? You need to like this video. You need to subscribe to the channel, number one. We start off with what? We start off with the VIP right now at the moment. All right, this is what we're doing here. So what you can do is you can join us right now. We are currently closed, so you can join the waiting list. Okay, we have been closed right now. We have exited, or we have got a lot of guys in our group joining, you know, ourselves. So we have the trading floor, the live trading floor, where we actually take trades together live, consistently with the team. We have our man Kellogg, Marco, Jolene. We have a couple guys like Mike, like Jonathan streaming every single day. And we're all trading the same system. That's why we like it so much, all right? Then of course we have the actual course itself. It's all in the community, it's integrated as well here. And besides that, in Q4, we're gonna release some cool stuff. So in Q4, we're taking things back here. We're taking it a little bit on a slow pace right now because it's summer. We're literally at the verge of ending the summer here. So we're heading into Q4. So yeah, once we're gonna open up, you will get notified by signing up to the waiting list. But you can win it today, all right? You can still get in right now. So in order to do that, type in LTA VIP. And then after that, we do Fun It Next. We give away a challenge as well. A Fun It Next challenge, all right? Let's type it in, my G's, one time here. Yes, sir. Yeah, there we go. That was a big trap for the sellers there. All right, let's get you guys involved, all right? We are closed, so we do not allow anyone to get into our group, so you can get in regardless. And let's draw it right up. Let's don't hold you guys up any longer. Let's go. Boom. Mr. Kobe. Mr. Kobe, if you're here, my friend, then you won. Let me know if you're here. Then we're gonna get another one involved too. We're gonna do the funded next giveaway as well. A funded challenge. All right. Looking forward to share that with you guys. If you go here, you need to sign up with Funded Next. You make an account here. If you win the challenge, you can always decide to not take it right away and rush into it. You can always decide to do a trial first to get familiar with the platform. And then once you have done the trial, okay, you can click on start the challenge. But because you already won, you can use the challenge that you won. All right. But I highly recommend you that if you're new, and you're not as familiar with the platform yet, to take a free trial first. So take a free trial first, start a challenge, and then decide what you can do here. We're gonna give away a 15K account right now. It's a great way to get started, right? You can decide what you want to do here, the 1-step or 2-step, your risk parameters here. What does it mean, the 1-step or 2-step? 2-step means that you have to pass it in 2 times. 1-step obviously means that you can pass your challenge in 1 time. A little bit more on the riskier side here. But that means quicker potential payouts. But you need to be a G to get this done here. Otherwise, just take the 2-step. Okay? Take it slow, take it steady. It's not about the money at the beginning. It's about the process. All right? Type in Funded Next. This doesn't work if you're from the United States due to the regulations in regards to the meta quotes. But for the rest of the world, I believe it is not an issue. Fantastic. All right, let's do it quickly. All right, for the G's right there. Boom. Boom. Mr. Claro Collins, congratulations. Congratulations, you won as well here. Both of you guys, we got you notified and noticed here. So what you need to do is you need to open a customer support ticket in our Discord server. So you need to join our Discord server and then go down, scroll down, open a customer support ticket. And it should be all good from there, all right? We'll hook you up, my friend. We'll hook you up. Thank you very much. All right, perfect. That would have been nice. That would have been good. Now, in regards to the next ones, guys, don't worry about it. You can either sign up yourself or you wait for next week. Because we're going to keep doing this over and over and over again here. What is the best sell for gold? In my opinion, the best sell for gold would be if we manage to close and break down below the gold futures all-time high, which is 25.70 on futures. If we close below that, then I think that there is chance of a pullback further down again, back into the range, okay? 25.70. Why is that an important level? That's the all-time high on futures. So how do you find the futures chart? You type in GC, you click on it, you get this chart right there, okay? GC, click on it, you get the chart. And then you know that this is the all-time high here, 25.70. And then automatically you will see when it closes below that gold might as well just break and closes below the 25.43. And I think if you do this right there, and if futures does this right there, and it closes below the all-time high, that you could come back towards the gold spot all-time high, which is at 25.32. So that would be a nice trade, I believe. A safer confirmation short trade from 25.43 to 25.31. Something like that, which could include or benefit a 100 pip move to the downside when you get that confirmation. And I do believe we're quite aligned here. I do believe that you want to see that break and closure below the 25.70. On the 15 minute, if you're close to the 30 minute, even better. And then you can take it down. I think that's a nice positioning for price to roll back, close below, and sell continuation back to the all-time high on spot, which then breaks the futures all-time high and potentially also pulls back into the range. Until then, no shorts, no shorts, no shorts. You saw what happened previously, right? When guys were saying in the chat, short, short, short here. We actually did the opposite. Why? Because we held support. We didn't break support. We held support. Okay? Hope that makes sense. So, yeah, we can sit there and wait for it. Or you just wait for that confirmation right there, waiting for that break, waiting for that closure, and then taking it back down. And then who knows? We might even break the lower sections here. For now, as long as we stay above here on futures, there is no short that we could take in consideration. We can only look for upside. And you never know when you're at an all-time high how far you can go, how far you can take it. All right. Anyways, we took a trade today. Yesterday, we're up still. We managed to close out. We learned a valuable lesson here is never to risk too much. You should be able to handle some drawdown as well sometimes during moments like these. All right. When we're talking about all-time high, we're talking about the ECB interest rate decision, the PPI, the initial jobless claims, everything came together. So of course, you understand why. You want to be able to handle some drawdown sometimes. And you saw the price pull back beautifully. And, an easy exit right there. Okay. Tomorrow, final day of the week. Let's close the week strong. And let's see that if tomorrow on a Friday is that typical reversal day. Or if it's indeed a continuation play. Who knows? Number one, the question to ask is, where do we close the daily candle? Are we closing the daily candle above the all-time high or below the all-time high? We'll find out in around 6 hours from now where we close. That doesn't mean you cannot take a short here, by the way. If you get the confirmation on futures already, that doesn't mean you can take a small short right there from 25.43 to 25.32. But the daily closure is important because you can easily just fall back below the range the last hours and be in the range again. And then the highs are taken out. And if the highs are taken out, you know it, the only way potentially from like a probability standpoint is down. Okay. But for now, we're holding up very strong. So you know exactly what the confirmations are you need to look at before looking at any particular sales from that standpoint. All right. I hope that makes sense. And a lot of beautiful lessons today. We learned how to manage risk, how to not over risk, how to be anticipated, and how to not get stressed when being in a nasty position. All right, tomorrow, man. Last day of the week. I'm looking forward to see you. Congratulations to all the winners. And next week we're gonna do it again. And then next week is going to be the last week I'm streaming, because after that I'm going to take a little break, a little holiday. All right? Your boy has to travel and has to do some stuff around the globe. Okay? Thank you guys so much. Take care. Whoa. And man, I wish you a fantastic rest of your day here. Hope you survived. Crazy day. But we're kind of used to it now. Right? We're kind of used to it and we're getting better. We're getting a little bit better every month. All right? That's all that matters. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Ciao, guys. Thank you so much.